All right, what is up, guys? Hurricane Debbie has finally left us. It's the calm after the storm, and today we're going to be getting some miles in the Asics Tri Noosa 16. This is the triathlon running shoe from Asics. You know who sent this to me? Our friends at Running Warehouse. Last night they came through, they didn't come through, but FedEx or whoever came through dropped off this gigantic package because when we were out at San Luis Obispo for that event, they gave me trail shoes, they gave me a bunch of road shoes, and I couldn't bring them all home in my suitcase. Otherwise, that would have been like $700 on checked baggage through TSA. But they dropped off this, which I didn't even know they were gonna send me. So this was a nice little surprise, Asics Tri Noosa 16. It also reminded me to say thank you. Or what didn't even remind me. But it was a nice little serendipity because Running Warehouse has been putting out the videos from that trip over the past few days. And you guys went so hard in the comments and showed so much love in the comments for what we're doing here with the hobby jogger lifestyle and all the work we've been putting in that they said we were bots. Can you believe that? First they called us too small, and then we showed so much love they said we were bots. So thank you to everyone putting in the work, showing the love. I'm gonna go even harder, right? New Larry June album dropped today, so you know we're locking in. We're going on a 60-day run. Today is August 9th. Mark my words. October 9th, about 60 days from now, by the time the Chicago Marathon hits, we're gonna have a lot cooler stuff going on. It's gonna be even bigger and even better. We're locking back in, putting in the work. Asics Tri Noosa 16, let's go. All right, so today we have the Asics Tri Noosa 16. 16, that's a whole lot of shoes in this series, right? We have the up top, Brooks Hyperion 2. Adidas Adizero, oh man. This is the fly shoe today? Is the Hyperion 2 the fly shoe today? Get out of here. The thing is, we have the Citronella going for all my Citronella fellas and anti-mosquito gals. And it's not working for the black flies. So I don't know what the situation is going to be for the black flies. They're also getting into my house now. And we got to get the fly paper, but then the fly paper is sticky, it's disgusting. Boldy James had this line recently, actually, the 100 stick together like fly paper. And I said, dang, Boldy, that's a bar. That's the bar. By the way, Boldy James, greatest living American storyteller. If you're a fan of rap and you don't know Boldy James, go check him out. Also, go check out the Larry June album, man. Go run up the numbers, another independent artist putting in the work. Shout out, Larry. Good job, Larry. Where was I going with this? SL2 Mach 6. These are newer, relatively newer shoes. This whole category of lightweight, lower to the ground relative to where the market is going now, faster everyday running shoes. It's one of my favorite categories at times. Sometimes I like more stack, but it's a newer trend, and a lot of these shoes have the race foam in them as well. So the Asics Tri Noosa 16, this is an OG in the game, and not only is it the lightweight, lower stack, fast training shoe, it's also Asics triathlon shoe. So this shoe is designed and historically is the shoe that triathletes wear. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I mean, it has bright colors and I guess it's easy to slip on and off. Is that why? I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure what makes this a better triathlon shoe than any of these at the top. And I actually do have to say, I did an Ironman last year, Ironman relay. So I only did the running part. That's actually where I got my half marathon PR. And it was a mix. Some people, of course, there were some Tri Noosas, but some people were using carbon fiber plated race shoes. Some people were using just regular daily trainers, just comfortable shoes. And of course, it's going to be like any race out there, your local 5K all the way up to the Chicago Marathon. Some people will be using Hoka Bondis. Some people will be using Alpha Flies. Some people will be using Brooks Ghost. So it's really a mix. So with this shoe, I'm not sure what to expect and what's going to make it different from some of these other shoes at the top. But I'm excited. It's my first Tri Noosa. They've been pumping them out for 16 years. 16 generations of triathlon shoes. And let's see what it's all about. What do you guys think? Let's see what it's all about. Man, the mosquitoes. I gotta start bathing in citronella. They're really out here, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move. I think I'm gonna move that citronella up there down lower because these guys they're out. Can you see them on camera? They're out in full force. Probably should have just stayed on the street. Oh, look at this. All right. Anyway, Asics Tri Noosa 16. This thing is known for its bright and wacky colors, so let's see. Let's see if it lives up to its reputation. Ooh, I can see some orange laces. Bada-boo! Yeah, this thing looks cool. It looks funky and it looks cool. And oh man, okay. Pushing it in here. This actually, so I brought out a bunch of shoes, the Hyperion 2, the Adizero SL2, and the Mach 6. I brought out a bunch of shoes that are the competitors of it. What I did not bring out is the Magic Speed 4. And pushing this shoe in, the foam feels really similar to the Magic Speed 4, and that was a shoe that I actually loved, surprisingly. I did a 25-mile day in it. That was my last really quality day of training before I got sick and just had to take some time off in the past week. But we're back. We're back. You can hear the voice is 95% back. We've been putting in the work with the chai tea and the rest and the electrolytes, and this is the thing. It's not all about pounding 100-mile weeks. It's about listening to your body. Some days, we got to take it slow. Some weeks, we got to cut down to 50 or 60. So then we can mash for the next 6 to 7 or 8 weeks. That's the only way. That's the only way that I'm able to consistently execute at a high level, is sometimes knowing when to consistently execute on a rest and recovery plan. But regardless, look at this thing. So this is the whole triathlon vibe. The tongue here looks like it's easier to slip on. You could probably leave this tied. They put the laces through the top of the tongue. And that's the trademark of the shoe as well. The kind of weird, wacky colorways. They've actually toned it down a bit on this version. I think this is called the Cool, what is it called? Yeah, Safety Yellow and Cool Matcha. So matcha is not necessarily a color you'd associate with being bright. It's kind of an earthen green. And that's the vibe of the shoe, but you do get a little pop of brightness on the tongue from the laces, and of course, whatever pattern they have on here is a little bit wacky. I did like the 15 and the 14, though, with the yellows and pinks and a little bit more aggressive. I think if you're going to go for it, just go for it, man. Just go for it, man. But overall, in hand, this shoe feels light. The foam pressing it in feels very similar to the Magic Speed 4. I'll grab that when I go inside, grab the scale for the weigh-in. Difference between this and the Magic Speed 4, though, this has no carbon fiber plates. This is 100% of the FF Blast Plus foam, which we know Asics calls all their foams FF Blast or FF Blast Plus, and we're not quite sure what the differences are in the actual compounds themselves. But regardless, I'm guessing this is going to be slightly, from the way I'm feeling it in my hands, feels slightly soft. Ooh, not the most flexible. Slightly soft. Looks like it's kind of a nice roll to it and some nice bounce, and the stack does not look that high. This looks pretty low stack, even compared to something like the Hyperion 2. These are pretty similar. Ooh, one thing though, let's take a look here. Bro, I'm getting slaughtered. I tried to light the citronella. It's not working. To call up the Citronella Growers Association. I seriously don't know. What do I have to do? Do I just need to move to California to not deal with mosquitoes? For some reason, there's no mosquitoes in California. But if you take a look at this, really aggressive rocker on the front. This is what I want to show you. Look at that. So this should provide a nice, fast-feeling ride that just snaps us right along. Even so, the Brooks Hyperion 2, I reviewed this shoe about a week ago. Oh. Ah! Did Bobby's hat ever come down? You let me know. But even compared to the Brooks Hyperion 2, this is way more aggressive in the front. I think, let's take a look versus the Mach 6, because the Mach 6 might be the most aggressive rocker in this category so far. Yeah, I think even versus the Mach 6, we're seeing a little bit of more of an aggressive rocker in the Tri Noosa 16 here. So this is getting me excited. Lightweight, a little bit lower to the ground, aggressive rocker. Of course, it's not going to have the most protection for high mileage days, marathon training, but for me, it could slot in as a just nice, fun, steady running option, a little bit of a workout option for days where I don't want to plate or I don't want to go for something like the Super Blast or Neo Vista or any of these tall stacked behemoths. And as we know, guys, the best way to avoid injury, second best way, I got to say second best, because the best way to avoid injury is going to the gym or doing hill running. I learned that from my friend Brad Hudson. I've been reading the Hudson book. So if you can't make time for the gym, do some fast hill running, which is what I do. And it's just as good for strengthening those lower leg muscles. And I'm sure someone's going to drop some comment below about whether it is or not. So let's just wait for that. But one of the best ways to avoid injury, other than strengthening our muscles, is rotating between different types of shoes. So even though I do like the Max Cushion shoes, and I'm the head honcho of the Max Cushion gang, sometimes it's nice to go for these slightly lower shoes. And of course, if you've been running for 27 years, this might be Max Cushion to you. But for me, it's not, because I've only been running since 2020. And I'm proud of that. That's what, man, it doesn't matter how long you've been running. All that matters is we're making progress and having fun, right? And staying healthy. That's what it's all about. That's what this is all about. We just get out here, get some miles in, have fun. You could be running for one day, or you could be running for 7 decades. We're all hobby joggers having fun, right? All right, I think we should weigh these guys, get them on the scale, because I really want to just get this on foot. See if this matcha can rip. What do you think? Kobe! Alright, I had to pull up with the full-on joggers right now because I don't know if it's the rain or if the mosquitoes are just developing some sort of an immunity to the citronella, because we've been going hard on it for the past few weeks, but they're just relentless today, man. They're just out here. All right, let's do a weigh-in of the Tri Noosa 16. Let me just pop this thing off. So it's kind of a racing shoe, right? It's one of the lower stack training shoes, but it's also a triathlon racing shoe. And with all racing shoes, we want a relatively lightweight. So let's see where it comes in. 230 grams. That is very lightweight. That is as light as a lot of the racing shoes out there. And my size, the standard weight is around 220. That's where shoes like Endorphin Elite, Endorphin Pro 4, On Cloud Boom, those are all around 220. So this is right in that same neighborhood. Even I think Alpha Fly is 220. So this is only a little bit heavier. Now let's compare it to another one of these lightweight speed training shoes, Brooks Hyperion 2. This comes in at exactly 220 grams. Now this one also has a 100% race foam midsole, so a little bit different than the Asics. This does not use Asics race foam. This is Asics training foam. So if you want the Asics race foam, you're going to have to go for the Super Blast, which is higher than this. It's also a lot more expensive. That's $200 versus this is, I believe, $140. We'll see how it rides, but I'm liking how this feels in my hand. I'm not the biggest fan of the Super Blast, and I'm hoping this is a little bit easier to compress and turn over the legs and doesn't take as much braking as the Super Blast. But from pushing it in, it just feels a lot softer. Oh gosh. Dude, any piece of exposed flesh right now is just getting crushed. All right, we got to rip through this section so I can just get these on foot, start moving. So Adidas Adizero SL2, this is my favorite do-it-all shoe of the year. I like it because it has enough stack to run 23 miles, to run a 22-mile double day in it. But it's light enough and fast enough to rip some 100-meter repeats at a 4-something pace. So it's super versatile. You have the race foam and the training foam. It's a little double whammy right there, and really durable from the Adidas rubber that they put. It's not the Continental, but it's still really durable Adiwear rubber. The last shoe I wanted to bring into the conversation today, Hoka Mach 6. This is currently up there with the Adizero SL2, maybe in the top slot for a lot of people this year for everyday running shoes that are fast and fun. If you're going to pick, I want a lightweight, fast, bouncy shoe for training and then doing a triathlon, I'm not going to go for the Super Blast or a race shoe. This might be the pick, right? Hoka is at the top of the game right now when it comes to mainstream recognition, and they're just cranking out a lot of good shoes. So throw this puppy on the scale, 234 grams. So very similar to the Noosa Tri. So this is going to be a great matchup here. Noosa Tri 16 versus Hoka Mach 6. Two very similar shoes. I mean, even just look at them. They look similar from the side profile, from the amount of stack, from their construction, from the rockers. Two very similar shoes. And the last one I want to bring in. Oh, gosh. Man, I swear the hurricane just brought out the beast in these mosquitoes. But we're going to throw the Magic Speed 4 on real quick. This is 260 grams. So this has a plate versus no plate. in the Noosa Tri, and you also get a little bit of the race foam up at the front here, but very similar rocker profiles. The Noosa Tri might have a little bit more aggressive of a rocker. It's also lower stack to the ground, lower to the ground, lower stack. That's why it is 30 grams lighter. These colorways also work well together. This is like a more muted version of this one. So with that, guys, we got to get this thing on our feet because I am getting absolutely chewed. These mosquitoes are doing me. And actually, hold on. Let's do a QA check really quick, and then we can get this thing on our feet. All right, boom. 232.5, 2.5 gram difference. A little bit of variance, not too much, nothing to be concerned about. Asics is usually on point with their QA. I think Asics and Adidas make some of the highest quality shoes out there with little variance and very durable. So I think I have no concerns with the build quality of the shoe. Just looking at it, and everything that Asics makes is usually on point when it comes to that. So let's go. Can't do this. I can't do this anymore. All right, man, we had to come all the way down to the bottom of the driveway. Seems like the mosquitoes aren't out here, which is nice, but they pushed us out. We will be back. Dude, we're gonna be back, and we're gonna hit them with some force on Monday. You just watch. I'm gonna order every anti-mosquito product I can find on Amazon. Holy cow. All right, stepping into what is this, the Noosa Tri? What does Noosa mean? It's a place, right? Isn't Noosa a place or a race? It's in the UK or something, Noosa. But stepping in, at first it felt a little snug, but I think that's just the rocker, man. The rocker on this is so aggressive. I think this is the most aggressive training shoe rocker I've ever felt. It is really pushing my toes up. It's almost like a Saucony Endorphin Elite feeling here, where it is so curved up in the front. But in terms of the fit, I always talk about the feel before the fit. In terms of the fit, true to size, it feels like, yeah, my toe is almost at the edge, but I have a little bit of room. Let's do a little bit of comparison here to the Magic Speed 4. So this is, Magic Speed 4 is like the beefed up version. This is like Rebel V4 and SC Trainer V3 here, which, by the way, guys, I used to be a huge New Balance fanboy. I still love him, but I think I like the Magic Speed 4 more than the SC Trainer V3. And the sun is really coming out, huh? Let's see. Is that a little bit better? I think so. But yeah, Magic Speed 4, it felt fun, it felt fast, it felt like it had some good bounce to it. SC Trainer V3 didn't quite do it for me. But all right, let's do a little walk test with these guys. All right, a little walk test on the streets of Mint Hill. We're literally in the streets of Mint Hill today because the mosquitoes pushed us out of our own domicile. It's absolutely disrespectful. And look at that. Hurricane Debbie took down the mayor's tree. That's disrespectful. All right, a little walk test in the streets of Mint Hill. Very rock, man. This thing is so curved. The Noosa Tri is just so curved. I can feel it pushing. You see my hand? I can feel it pushing my fingers up like that. And this guy's like, what is this guy doing in the street? We're shoe tubing, bro. I can feel it pushing my toes up. Imagine if I got taken out by an old Corolla while trying to shoe tube because I was trying to avoid mosquitoes. And the heel is soft too, though. The heel is soft, especially compared to the Magic Speed. I'm actually a little surprised at how soft the Noosa Tri feels. But just walking around here, I'm going to tell you right now, compared to a lot of the other shoes, even the Hyperion 2s and SL2s, because of how rockered the Noosa Tri is, I would not choose this as a walking shoe. I would pick any of those other lightweight shoes, even the Rebel V4 over this. It just feels a little bit unnatural and aggressive to have on casually. It looks kind of cool, but man, it is really pushing my toes up. That is 100% the most noticeable thing about this shoe. even compared to the Magic Speed 4. And I think if you take a look at this, so there's a few ways to do a rocker, and if you look at the Magic Speed 4, it's almost like the inside. What's up, buddy? Shoes, yeah. Not racer, just training. They're the triathlon shoe.
That's a nice color. Wow.
Yeah, it's called Matcha. Cool Matcha.
Cool Matcha. Yeah, I like it.
They're Charlie certified?
Well, I don't know about the goods, but
The swag is Charlie certified? Yeah, your daughter might be married to a shoe tuber if you pull up in some ultras. Yeah, we got lots of off-topic distractions this morning. Back to the topic. I forgot it. Shout out J. Cole, man. J. Cole was putting in work back in the come-up days. That's what I think we're come-up era J. Cole right now. If you know, you know, man. We're hungry. We're going to put in that work. What I was saying about the rockers is there's a few different ways to do them, and there's a few different ways that your foot can feel on a rocker shoe. Until you like the Magic Speed, it's almost like the inside of the shoe at the top is flatter, and it's really just the curvature at the bottom. Because you have so much foam here, you can taper the shoe in such a way that the top is basically flat. Where your foot sits is almost flat, and then you just do the rocker on the bottom. Yes, it curves up a little bit, but not as much as in the Noosa Tri, where, let's flip this to the inside, you have a little bit less foam here, so the rocker is at the bottom, and they really mimic that with the top of the shoe versus having this front part be a little bit flatter. Saucony Endorphin Elite does the same thing, where the entire profile curved up inside and outside. So, man, this is making me feel like this is going to just fling us along. I'm not sure how great it's going to be for everyday miles, just because it is so aggressive that it's borderline uncomfortable. The other thing is this toe box is pretty, the length is okay. I'm actually pretty close up to the end and in my normal size. And it feels pretty shallow. It does feel pretty shallow. This might be a half size up situation. We will have to see. But I like the way this fits. The material feels nice. The upper feels like it's well worth it. The upper on this is actually nicer than on the Magic Speed 4. That was the one area I did not love on the Magic Speed 4. It's hard to get the right lighting here, but Magic Speed 4 felt a little bit cheap to me. The Noosa Tri upper does not feel cheap. You get some good padding. You might even get some more padding in the Noosa Tri than the Magic Speed. And overall, the material, the fit, and the feel is just a touch more cohesive in the Noosa Tri. So good job. Good job, Noosa Tri. I think we should do a little quick jog test between these two. What do you think? This jog test is brought to you by Running Warehouse, the affiliate partner of nonsense, tomfoolery, and clown behavior since 2024. This jog test features the Asics Noosa Tri 16. Hey Tommy, can we get some light on the Asics Noosa Tri 16, please? Alright, run that back, take 2. This jog test features the Asics Noosa Tri 16 and the Asics Magic Speed 4. So these two feel related for sure. You can definitely feel the additional stack in the Magic Speed, but they both have that great rocker. They have a similar, slightly soft feeling foam, and they push you along nicely. And these are maybe two of the best non-$250 shoes that you could get for racing. I'll have to actually run in this, but that's what it's feeling like right now. This is feeling like if you don't want to spend above $150 on a race shoe, this could be a really good pick. Maybe you're doing some 5Ks, doing some 10Ks, and want something that you could trade in or race in that feels light and fast. That's what this is giving me right now. It's feeling a little bit softer than the Brooks Hyperion 2 as well. We're gonna have to do a head-to-head, but man, these are Asics has impressed me recently. Nova Blast 4 and these two, some of my favorite shoes of the year. This is in my conversation for top 3 plated training shoes of the year for sure. And just with this little jog test, I'm feeling like this might go into that best lightweight shoes as well. It feels right. It feels right, feels very similar on foot to the Magic Speed, which I love. So we're gonna actually take this out for some miles today. I actually don't know how many, 8 miles, 10 miles. We're still coming back. Today I feel probably 95% recovered. Just got a little bit of voice situation going on still. I think we're pretty much almost there, but we're gonna lace these things up, get some miles. Man, this is so light. All right, let's do it. Man, it seems like the mosquitoes have calmed down maybe a little bit. No, they're still up here. I wonder if the citronella needs like a period to break in. But the thing is, I lit it 20 minutes before we started filming, so I don't even know. They're just out here today. But yeah, plan for this run, 8 to 10 miles in the Noosa Tri 16. Just getting out there and flowing. No faster pace. Maybe I'll throw some strides in at the end, maybe not. I don't know. It's just really just some daily mileage today. Get back into it. A little hour to 90-minute run. Just some time on feet to feel good. And yeah, this is definitely a little bit snugger in the toe box than some other shoes in my typical size. And I really think it's because of that aggressive rocker. It just curves the toes up like that. It's a little bit odd. And these laces are very thick. I wonder if they're supposed to be easier to tie when your hands are wet or something like that. But yeah, I like how this shoe feels on foot. It's a nice feeling shoe. All right, Noosa Tri. First run. Let's go. All right, early overreaction here. These are way more dailyable than I thought. It feels a lot less aggressive now that I'm running and not walking. And it feels a little bit more like a daily trainer than it does like an aggressive speed shoe. So I think this is slotting in a little bit more for me so far. Early overreaction, of course, in that SL2 camp. Not as aggressive as the Hyperion 2. But yeah, foam is not soft or firm. And this shoe is kind of just there. It's kind of just there. It reminds me of the Supernova Prima. Of course, that's a higher stack, more comfort oriented shoe, but both shoes that just disappear on foot. This is kind of just nice to run in without having to think about what's on my foot. And I don't think it's gonna force me to go faster than I want to today, which is nice. And we still got a lot of detritus out here. Hey, pull up with the Rivian, bro. Put in work. And that R1S is so clean. I think the new Land Cruiser and GX though dethroned it. That is now the coolest off-road SUV. Yes, cooler than the Jeep. It's hard for me to say. The thing is, the Land Cruiser and the GX, you can't take the top off. All right, first little straightaway here. Man, look at that cerulean today. Debbie hit us with the gray yesterday, but now we got blue skies and it's Friday. Bang. Yeah, first little straightaway here. My legs are feeling okay. I'm not gonna push the pace too much because I wanna have a quality long run on Sunday. So we're just gonna bop along at whatever pace comes and enjoy this shoot. This is an enjoyable experience so far. Look at this. This entire tree fell down. The thing is, Charlie called it. She saw one of the trees leaning over a week ago. About a week ago! That's what I say, get the tweaker, bro. Tweaker, bro. Alright, that was mile 1. This is aggressive. My early overreaction might have been wrong. This does feel like an endorphin elite daily trainer. The rocker is so aggressive, and it feels like this might have a lower drop. It's definitely not 10 millimeters, probably around 6 to 8. Asics is usually 8, but this feels like a 6 or a 4. And combined with how far my toes are up, this feels like a negative drop shoe, meaning it feels like my heel is lower than the toes, which is just wild. It's a wild experience. It almost feels like I have to fight to get to the toe off at my everyday pace. So I might throw in some pace pickups to see how it feels with some faster pace, but definitely an aggressive geometry. And it 100% favors a mid to forefoot strike. This is not a heel striker shoe. This is just not a heel striker shoe. All right, we're about to hit mile 2 here, and I know Barefoot Mafia and all their associates, there's a lot of associates out there, are gonna come for me on this one, but this just does not feel protective enough for me, even in a daily trainer. And I don't think it's necessarily the stack height. Yeah, that was mile 2. We're clipping off 750s. I don't think it's necessarily just the stack height, but this foam just feels average, and sometimes not too soft, not too firm can be a good thing. In this case, it's also not that bouncy. It just feels pretty standard, pretty lackluster. The rocker is nice, but I'm a little bit disappointed in the ride other than that so far. And it just doesn't feel like it's giving me enough protection in the forefoot. Yeah, I am a youngin' in the game, right? I only started running really 2020. And I'm trying to plant kindness and gather love and not respond to all of the bogus negativity I see. So I'm not even gonna touch it. But what I'm gonna say is, I personally enjoy the higher stack shoes because anecdotally, they make it easier for me to run. I feel more comfortable in these higher stack shoes. Let me tell you now, I would not be running 100 miles a week in some Vibram 5 fingers or some Saucony Guide 5. All right? So for us bigger, taller runners, for whom running might not have been accessible 5-10 years ago because the shoes didn't work for us. These higher stack shoes can make it easier for us to run and can also give us a place in the running world. That's what's great about shoes like the Saucony Hurricane 24. They're literally designed for bigger and taller runners for whom 10 years ago there weren't a lot of options. So this shoe right here, man, 16, right? 16. Some of these shoes that are legends in the game who are holding on to their past legacy, like the Pegasus, have just been letting me down. And this one might be going to that category so far. The formula is just not working. And I think the biggest downfall here is the midsole compound. Because if you look at the 140 category, Mach 6, Hyperion 2, even the SL2, a lot of brands are coming with either race foam or some variant of training foam that's got a lot of bounce and a lot of fun. This is not it. This has a lot of colors and an aggressive geometry. But that doesn't make a banger. That does not make a banger. All right, I'm picking up the pace a little bit here, and this feels much better. So this might just be a case of this is only for speed. The foam still isn't great, and it's more about the geometry. And at this price point, I've been saying 140. I hope it's 140. It might be 130. But at this price point, regardless, 130 or 140. This is not even top 5 best foams you could get for that price. Man, I don't know why, but that Chevy, that red Chevy, that's just hitting through the trees. That's iconic right there. That's iconic. And that's the thing, sometimes old school can be charming, like that red Chevy. Sometimes it could just feel a little bit past its prime. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Well, you know what? You're not a radar gun.
Ooh.
I know what I'm doing with the speed limit in my car. I know my speed limit. I've got a speedometer. And you were coming down the middle of the road. I know how I'm driving. You are right.
Whoa. Should I? I'm gonna stop here.
Knock it the off.
You okay, man?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I see you. Just want to make sure you're okay. All right, kids, don't do drugs, okay? Just don't do them. Don't do them. Bro, we out here like Fox 5. One day we're storm chasing. The next day, you're catching crimes on camera, bro. Man, shoes off that. I don't even know what shoes off. She was off that Noosa Tri 16. All right, so almost at mile 4. Pace right now is fleeing a crime scene. Not that we didn't commit the crime, somebody else committed. I don't even know if it was a crime, but she was off that Noosa just yelling. Off that Noosa yelling, bro. Big mad, as they say. And for this pace, they feel okay. They really do feel okay at a faster pace. That's where I'm landing. This is not, I can tell you right now, we're not putting 100 miles on this thing. We're probably not even gonna put 50 miles on this thing. This might be a shoe that I give away to one of you who likes lower, firmer shoes and who's a heel striker. if you like the Hyperion Max 1, you might like this. For me so far, this is not hitting. It's just fine. It's just completely fine. All right, mile 5, that was an 8-minute pace. Still a little bit tired. But regardless of pace, this just doesn't feel like it's up to par with the rest of the category. The rocker's nice, it's lightweight, it looks cool, but I'm just not sure if that's enough. I'm not sure if that's enough. This foam is just, it's just not doing it. And a shoe like this, it shouldn't really require break-in. If it's a shorter, faster distance shoe, it should not require break-in. So, a little bit disappointing so far. I'll see if we get anything else. I'm only gonna go to 8 today. See if we can get anything else out of the shoe in the last 3 miles. If not, I'll see you guys at home. All right, mile 6, almost here. I really have no interest in doing strides today. I'm just not feeling it, but I am gonna do strides. I'm gonna do strides because I know there's gonna be some jabroni who says, it's a fast running shoe, bro. You're not even using it correctly. That's my favorite thing. People say when I don't use the shoes correct, it's a running shoe. You put it on, you run with it. As long as you're not wearing your Cielo X1s to Whole Foods, there's really no way to use a shoe incorrectly. You putting one foot in front of the other, running, walking, whatever it is. Good job, you. You're using your shoes correctly. Anyway, planting kindness and gathering love. I will see you at mile 7 for some strides. So here's the thing. Some people have just been buying Hondas year after year after year. They just get another Honda Civic. They're not even gonna think about it when it's time to get a new car. They just upgrade into the newest Honda Civic. That's what these shoes are about. The Nike Pegasus, the 880s, the Noosa Tris. If you've been buying them for a long time, you're gonna keep buying them. But there are just so many better options on the market now at the price point. The Kias, the Hyundais of the world, better tech, better ride experience, better looking. These look pretty cool though. These just don't feel competitive. All right, we are gonna do some strides. So a little faster pace pickups just to see how these shoes do. Getting down to 6-minute range. Maybe that will completely change my opinion of them. Probably not. But once we get around the bend, we will do it. I am doing my due diligence. All right, first one, here we go. All right, 5:49 pace. These are fine. These are completely fine. I'm gonna do the last 3, but I'll see you guys at home. All right, I'm glad we did those strides because, oh, oops, did we not stop our watch? Dang, we were just going for an extra minute at the end. Oops. But that ended up being the best part of the run, the strides there. So we got 8.2 miles, 7:58 pace, probably 7:50 something because we were just letting the watch go at the end. Yeah, overall that was kind of a choppy run. And I never quite found a rhythm with this shoe, but the pace pickup at the end was definitely the best part, other than the World Star situation at mile 3. That was intriguing as well. But yeah, I think so. After doing those strides and just looking at the shoe, It might need a little bit of break-in. You can see the foam is getting some creasing. It also just felt like, I don't know, the heel is a little bit softer than the forefoot. The forefoot felt a little bit firm and slappy, combined with, oh gosh, everything is just sliding around. Can't get a rhythm. It's just one of those days. We can't quite get a rhythm. The mosquitoes are against us. It's okay. It wasn't a great run. Was not a great. Well, the run was fine, but it wasn't. I didn't love the shoe. We'll probably need to do another run to truly get some insights on the fast running performance. But that was the best part for sure. In the words of boss man D-Lo, this a fast shoe. What the heck you running slow for? All right, 8 miles in the Tri Noosa 16, meaning we gotta hydrate. You already know, we gotta hydrate. Today we're going with the grape noon electrolytes. We got 2 of them. You know we already do. Drop 2 in the 32. 1, 2. I just love watching the noon bubble. It's gotta be one of the most satisfying things in the world. But we got 8 miles in the Noosa Tri 16, my first experience with the Noosa Tri. And this thing is billed as a lightweight, fast, everyday running shoe. And you guys know I like to analyze, how do these shoes do versus their intended purpose? How do they do versus the other options in their category? And how do they do versus everything else on the market? So let's start with that first question. I was a little bit down on this shoe for the entirety of the run, other than pretty much my early overreaction was this is fine. And it was a little bit downhill, and then when we got to those strides, let's throw up the splits here really quickly just so you can see. When we got to those strides, that was probably the best part when we were gripping and ripping. But how does it do versus the intended purpose? It is lightweight. It does feel good when running fast. The issue is that with these lightweight and fast shoes, and we're going to jump ahead to the second question already, which is how does it do versus the category? With these shoes, $130 to $140. So I looked up the price, it's $135. I kept calling it $140. It's the $5 isn't going to make that much of a difference, but $130 to $140, this category of shoes. SL2, Mach 6. What else did we have up there? Hyperion 2. Even Nova Blast 4, that's a little bit of a more built-up shoe, but there's a lot of great shoes for $130 to $140. You have the Propel sitting at $120. So just being light and feeling good when running fast, that's not enough, and that's how I felt for most of this run. This shoe just feels like it's not enough in 2024. It's not bringing an exciting foam. Yes, the rocker geometry in there, and that's pretty much the saving grace. I said the rocker geometry in there. The rocker geometry is there. You get this nice curve up. It feels good when turning over the legs. But for all the other miles and for all the other time on feet that I was spending in the shoe today, about an hour, it felt pretty unremarkable. The Hyperion 2, which we ran in last week, that was peppier, that was faster. That foam is so much better. So much better. That's a race foam that you're getting for $140, right? It's the supercritical EVA TPEE blend. It's not a PIBA, but it's still a race foam. This is nowhere near a race foam. This feels nothing like a race foam. It feels very standard. It feels a little bit flat, and you're not getting a lot of bounce from it. And the only reason that it feels good when running fast is because the rocker geometry. That's saving the shoe. So versus its intended purpose, yes, it's light, and yes, it's fast. And if that's all you're looking for, it will be okay, but it's not that protective. And I'm not getting that much bounce. I'm not getting that much of an exciting ride. I'm not getting that much impact absorption. I'm not getting a lot of the qualities that make a shoe fun, other than being light, aren't there. So when we think about lightweight shoes, even something like the Sky Paris and the Edge Paris, this is something that I think Asics is not quite getting right with their lightweight shoes. They're going for weight savings at all costs. My favorite shoes this year, some of my favorite shoes have been the heaviest shoes I've tried. The Hurricane 24, the Skyward X, super heavy shoes, built up, bulky, but I'm getting a ton of bounce, and it makes it easy to run. So for me, at 6'2", 160, I haven't been running for 2 decades. I am a newer runner. My body is still acclimating to running high mileage. I love the feeling of max cushion shoes. And of course, we got a Honda Accord. driving by. That's what this thing is. Yeah, you guys know, I'm Max Cushion gang. This is not Max Stack. And even compared to the other shoes with a similar stack height like we pulled out earlier, the Hyperions, also the Rebel V4s. Now that's what I'm talking about right there, baby, the Toyota Tundra. That's what we need. Even compared to the other shoes in the category though, it's just a little work a day. It's a little basic. It feels a little bit flat. There's just nothing exciting about this foam, and that's an area I really wish that Adidas, or sorry, not Adidas, Asics would innovate a bit with their foams. Their foams are not great right now, and I don't know, it's hard to say because I know they have the Super Blast, that's a race foam. The Nova Blast, the foam is okay, you get a lot of it, but it's not the most exciting bouncy foam either. The reason that shoe is great is because it's protective and it's great for time on feet. But in this application, it falls a little bit flat. I would much rather pay, at least on the first run, the $35 extra to get the Magic Speed 4 with the carbon fiber plate and with the race foam. That really elevates the shoe from what this is. This feels like a drop down. This feels like you are paying a lot less than the Magic Speed 4, but also getting a lot less. So on this first run today, man, if I weren't testing these shoes, I probably would never run in this again. I'm gonna give it one more shot. I'm gonna do one more speed workout in it or something like that, just to see if maybe doing some prolonged sets of faster pace will give me something extra. But even with shoes like the Rebel, the Hyperion, the SL2, the Mach 6, they're way more versatile. I can run relaxed in them and feel comfortable. This is just a little bit of an uncomfortable ride for me. So if you usually follow my recommendations or like what I have to say about these shoes, I don't think you're gonna like this one. Because if you are in the Max Cushion gang, if you like that support, if you like that protection, if you are taller like I am, or a bigger runner, or a newer runner, a hobby jogger who likes feeling comfortable, this is not Cozy Boy Summer, right? This is uncomfortable summer. Borderline uncomfortable at times in this shoe. It did come alive for those strides, but that was such a small portion of the run that I'm not gonna choose a shoe for my daily trainer just because it feels good for strides. So where I want to close this out, right? How does this do versus everything else on the market? If you look at this shoe, just feeling it, it is very lightweight, which is nice, but it has a little bit of that lower stack, and this is where I wanted to end this analysis. This is lower stack to me, because I have been running only for 4 or 5 years. So compared to the shoes that I'm used to running in, this feels a lot lower and less protective. But what I want to say is, Max Cushion is not a trend. Max Cushion, I'm going to tell you that right now, Max Cushion is not a trend. I know there's trends that come and go. Maybe carbon fiber plates are going to be a trend, but Max Cushion is not a trend. Let me tell you why. It's because foams have gotten so light, you can now get more stack than ever before at a lower weight than ever before. So we're just gonna see that stack height growing and growing. 40 millimeters, I think somewhere around that is the range that feels normal. So we're gonna keep pushing it up until the shoes stop feeling normal. And I think 40 to 45 to 50. Once we get past 45, that's where the shoes stop feeling normal at all. But we're not gonna see the pendulum swing back to 20 millimeter daily trainers. It's not a trend. It's not a trend, right? People said auto-tune was a trend when T-Pain came out in 2007. And if you look at Turn On Jammin' 94.5, hold on, hydration break. What I'm trying to say is there are some game-changing innovations that reset the standard, that aren't just trends. Auto-tune is one of them. The internet is another one. People thought the internet was a trend. Max Cushion is not a trend because we're able to get more protection, more bounce, more comfort, all of the good things with minimizing the downside. And I know there's gonna be some people out there who say, oh, well, maybe these shoes lead to injuries, but that's not what's been proven. That's not what's been proven yet. And for me, anecdotally, I could say I run a lot more with a lot more comfort and confidence in the max stack shoes than I do in these relatively lower stack shoes. And this is not a barefoot shoe, but to me personally, and with what my reference points are, being a runner who's running a lot of the new shoes over the last 2, 3, 4 years, this is lower to me and not as protective to me. And it's not gonna be the shoe I'm reaching for, even for a speed workout. I prefer more cushion and more comfort. So if you want more cushion and more comfort, that's not gonna be this. Even if you want that connected feel, this was, on the first run, I did not like it. I like the Hyperion 2 a lot more. SL2, more versatile. Mach 6, a lot more fun. Rebel V4, more comfortable. There's just 4 or 5, and if you're just looking for a workhorse, 860. If you want comfort and cushion out of Asics, Nova Blast. There's just so many better shoes than this at the price point, and I know that Asics Noosa Tri athletes gonna be all up in the comments talking about, you don't know what the Noosa Tri 6, you don't know what it stands for, you don't even understand. Maybe I don't. Maybe that's better though. Sometimes I think it's better that I don't understand, I don't know all the history, so I can just run in the shoes and tell you whether or not they're fire. It's not fire. This is not a banger. We're gonna do one more speed workout, and then I'm gonna send it off to somebody else in the Barefoot Mafia who could actually enjoy it, because for me, this was not that enjoyable after the first run. Maybe I've got to figure out a way how to tie it. People always tell me I'm using it wrong. Maybe it's about how you tie the laces. And if you tie, if you tie the laces so you just slip it on and off, maybe I laced it up incorrectly, and the next time I'll just slip it on. I'll run through the sprinkler in the back, get wet, slip it on barefoot. Maybe that's why it's snugger too. Was I supposed to run in this barefoot? Maybe that's why it was tight. Was I supposed to run in this barefoot? All right, if you're a Noosa triathlete, let me know what I did wrong. Why didn't I use this correctly to like it? Let me know. Also, I think I might have to mess around and find a Saucony Guide 5 on eBay so I could review the Saucony Guide 5. Yeah, I'm really trying to plant kindness and gather love, but the gatekeepers keep popping up, man. The gatekeepers keep popping up. Oh, we haven't been doing it long enough. Man. That's why I'm here, man. That's why if you ever been told you haven't been doing it long enough, you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, man, that's what the hobby jogger thing is before. For some people out there will never be good enough, and that's okay. That's okay. But I'm doing it for all the people who get it. Who are out there on the running warehouse video spamming so hard with love that they called us bots. So thank you guys. Thank you to everyone who ordered a hobby jogger hat. I'm gonna keep putting in the work for you guys. Let me know what shoes you want to see next, and we will get those in there for review, because I am doing it for you guys. I appreciate you. I love you. Noosa Tri 16. I can safely say this is not a banger. We will give it one more shot, but Magic Speed 4, Hyperion 2, Mach 6, Rebel, Adizero SL2, any of those shoes are going to be better than this. All right. I love you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.